A very good Friday morning to you, y'all. We made it to the weekend. Well, some of us made it to the weekend, depending on how your work schedule is. We want to welcome you here to Daily Dive. Right now, you're taking a live look out at Jacksonville Beach, where, as you can see, a couple people out there. I see somebody walking their dog and another person maybe doing a little jog, a little light run this morning. Once you come in, say what's up, say good morning. We want to make sure we recognize you and give you a shout out here. And we have Keitha Nelson, Steve Fundero here to talk about all of the latest trending topics this morning. A very good morning to you, Gabriel. A very good morning to you, Amanda. Ugly June. Okay. Good morning to you. And if you're tuning in from somewhere other than Jacksonville or maybe the First Coast, be sure to let us know, because we do actually want to give you a little shout out again. Kiana, good morning to you. So it is Friday. How y'all feeling?
Doing all right.
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty
Hanging in
good.
there.
Put on my mic.
Hanging in there.
Good. Keitha, you all right over there? You still something happening? She's tangling cords and doing a whole bunch of everything.
Listen, I'm trying to put on a mic.
Oh, okay. So we've got to talk about this first story, and it's really sparking a lot of conversation. Even some backlash for a lot of restaurants that have decided to do this. So I'm going to get right into it. We know that many, restaurants are slowly but surely starting to reopen their doors right now, across the nation. But let's just talk about here on the First Coast. Well, because they're trying to, keep their menu prices low, and that's really a tough challenge for them right now. Food costs are rising, if you didn't know. Some businesses have started adding a COVID-19 surcharge to your tab. All right. So what does that mean for you? So it means, it's helped to manage costs during the pandemic. And that means you may see a little, a fee of a couple percent, maybe be 5%, a couple dollars here or there. And although you have some folks that say they'd be more than happy to pay a surcharge to help some of their favorite local businesses, many customers, as you can imagine, are not feeling these added fees. So we're asking you all to, chime in about this and let us know what you think about it. You can use the love reaction. That's telling us that you would be okay with paying the fee. And then the no would be the angry action. All right, so let's bring Keitha and Steve back up here, because Keitha and Steve, one of the biggest questions people want to know is this actually legal? Can restaurants do this? Can businesses do this? Well, the truth is they can. They can. They should have signage, maybe outside on the front door, letting people know, hey, there is a new charge we're implementing, but it's totally legal. Keitha, what do we think about this?
Oh my gosh, what I'm torn. I really am, because on one hand, you feel for all of these local small business owners. They need to somehow make up for all that's been lost. So if you can help them out, great. But what if you can't help them out? What if you're in a pickle yourself? Funds are hard to come by right now for so many people. So to add anything, any additional charges could really hurt someone's pocket. So I don't know. To be honest, I'm not okay with it. I'm sorry. Because here's why. A lot of people are feeling as if they have to give back to these local mom and pops and waste some house. You're seeing folks tipping or paying a little extra here and there when they can. I think that obviously let that continue. But for those who can't afford these extra charges, you got to give them a break, because you'll lose them as customers. They're like, wait a minute, what is this? And then some people feel as if they're getting robbed. They don't want to pay more than they feel they should have to. So I'm sorry. I'm saying no. I'm not for it.
It's a tough one. I think in my at least, let the customer know, ahead of time. Like you said, Brooks, like maybe some places are doing signage, maybe some aren't, but at least like put up on the, somewhere, make it known, maybe somewhere in the menu, somewhere on the door, wherever, that there is going to be some sort of additional charge. So that going in that it's like, okay, I now know what I'm getting myself into. Nothing worse is like getting the check and being like, wait, there's an extra this much money. I didn't sign up for that. I just wanted this burrito or this, burger or whatever. So it's tricky, and I really do understand where these businesses are coming from. I understand that they're just trying to make ends meet. But so are many of us too as well. So it's like one of those two-way streets where it's like kind of like respect gets respect, because a lot of us are struggling too. A lot of folks out of work, not having the cash that they may have used to. So I get it. I understand. I'm not going to fault restaurants for doing it. It may just make me go out to dinner or go out to lunch a little less frequently until things kind of go back to normal. One other thing I was thinking of just now, Brooks, when you're reading the headlines is, there could also be ways restaurants and places can go about this without making it known. Like you could just maybe hike up the price on every single item in the menu just a little bit. So then it kind of adds up to that surcharge. And then no one's going to know the difference. We haven't been out to breakfast, or no one's going to remember how much that Chipotle burrito costs.
I will.
Or maybe you will. All right. But I'm saying like it's been a while since we've been out. So like, and you look at the menu and a lot of people shopping, they're like, okay, what extra 50 cents here, an extra $1 here for that burger, for that, item. Maybe that's another way of going. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking that way. Maybe that's another way of going about it. So you're not putting this COVID charge on there. And that's kind of like, what? Really?
Yeah, you make some incredible points, Steve and Keith, both of you. Just for those who are joining, just let me get you caught up. So there's a COVID-19 surcharge that some restaurants, local businesses, and restaurants are starting to add onto your tabs, and it's really to help them during the pandemic, to really kind of offset some of the costs and stuff that they're dealing with. If we just think about it, local restaurants have started adding this fee because they're trying to keep menu prices, as low as they can. But then food costs are still rising right now. We know there's a shortage everywhere. So because there's that huge demand, you're probably gonna pay a little extra money, right? So businesses have started adding this fee, and people are asking, is this legal? Well, it is legal. After a couple of attorneys have, kind of chimed in about this, they say it's totally fine, but restaurants should tell you up front that this is going to be added to your bill. So you shouldn't have to wait until you sit down, you eat, enjoy the food, and then realize, wait a minute, a COVID-19 surcharge, what the heck is that? But some people have faced that.
Well, one of our former coworkers, first cruise news, she posted online that she went to the dentist,
Dallas.
not here, she's out in Houston, or is it Dallas, and she got a she got her bill, and on it there was a PPE charge. And you're like, what? So obviously, they're charging you for things like masks and gloves at the dentist. But I'm thinking to myself, don't dentists have that stuff anyway? Dentists have gloves and masks normally. So why am I paying extra for that stuff?
Well, that's a good point there. I kind of forgot about that. But here's something I want to bring up. I think we're forgetting a really big part of this. Restaurants aren't as packed as they were before the pandemic. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. Part of the reason is people don't feel comfortable enough to actually go out into these restaurants just yet. Another part of it is they can't put that many people in their restaurant because of guidelines and restrictions right now. So for some, this is their way to try and stay open, because think about it, they've been closed for a month and some, and some change. So it's really been tough for them the past month. Some folks are lucky to still be open right now, to be able to open their doors. So I think you have to kind of keep that in mind right now. And also it probably costs a little bit more for them to keep on sanitizing more than what they were doing. Now you may be saying they should have been doing this already. Well, they should have, but they have not been. So you got to think they're wiping the booths and the seats and everything down a lot more. They may even be doing some other using other cleaning products and stuff that may be a little more expensive to battle COVID-19, whatever it may be. Now, I did hear from a viewer who actually commented on my Facebook page saying she went to a local restaurant right here in Jacksonville, and she says she got charged a 9% COVID-19 fee. Now, I think 9% is probably 9%
of the bill. What?
Now, let's keep in mind, some people believe in tipping 10%. Some people do 15 to 18%. Some people even do 20%. 9% for the surcharge and still tip and the rest. That's a bit much. So she said, you don't ever have to worry about me going back to that restaurant. And I would think the average person would probably feel that same way. But let's share some of the comments. You all are chiming in. And we have this one from Michael saying, OMG, people are so angry just to be angry. This gives restaurants a way to still make a profit without an across the board price hike. And as Steve said, really, oh, and if people don't want to do it, basically, you could just stay home. Okay. Well, so now what I will say, Michael does have a great point. But as Steve was saying, well, keep in mind, they could just kind of hike up the prices and maybe not call it a COVID-19 charge. But if these are your favorite restaurants and you've been there, you probably know what your bill is looking like for the most part, so it would catch you off guard at the end, right?
Yeah, and I mean, this life is the way it works. Like, these businesses have been closed for months. Like, if you went to a restaurant, and you've noticed their prices starting to increase, you may be thinking, oh, okay, well, one, either business is maybe not doing so well, they need to make more money, or maybe business is doing really well and they want to capitalize, make more money. And guess what? You're still there, you're still eating, and you're still paying for that food. I'm seeing, I got the Facebook live stream up here on my laptop, the second monitor here, and I've just been noticing all the likes, the likes coming in, and all of them feeding out of the angry emoji, the angry emoji. Of course, we're not going to be happy about this, right? And if you really are that upset about it and you're really that angry about it, then just continue to stay home. We still have the choice, which is great. If you don't want to go out and spend that extra buck on the food, then it's like, okay, well, it's a bummer, but then you just stay home. And of course, it's a bummer because we all want to get out back to our normal lives, but nothing is going to be the way it was before. Like, we just have to face that. Nothing is going to be the way it was before.
Yeah.
You said it right. You said it right there, Steve. Choice. That's the key word. You all have choices to make. You don't want to do it, you're right. Stay home. If you can, and if you have the extra coins, then, help somebody out. That's really, what all this has been about. A lot of us have just stepped up and helped out in different ways, however we can. But a lot of people cannot help out. So if they can't, then, don't.
If you all are joining us, let us know if you've seen any of this, these COVID-19 surcharges on your receipt. Have you seen it at your doctor's office, your dentist's office, at a restaurant? And I see some people even saying they've seen it at the beauty salon. They said they're charging a $10 cleaning fee. And this is Teresa's comment, by the way. Beauty salons are charging a $10 cleaning fee and then a 20% tip on top of that. That's crazy. $160 a pop just to get your hair done. Yeah,
but you know what? This was all predicted while we were in quarantine, right? On lockdown. This is predicted. You were going to see all these additional surcharges come from these businesses because they have to somehow try to make up for the money that was lost, that will be lost because folks are slowly trickling in there, but they're still losing out, and the bills are still coming in because even though they're not seeing as many people, they still have to pay the light bill, and it still has to go on just the way it was. So. I get it. Tab, I don't like it, but I get it.
I don't think anybody likes it or loves it, but you do kind of have to understand. Tab Edwards saying, at least make it known, the policy to the public beforehand. Some restaurant employees can be mistaken for theft if the customers aren't being told up front. So please use caution when getting extra money from consumers. Some just recently and finally got something to their names. No, you're absolutely right, Tab. And that's been what an issue has been with all of this. You have some restaurants that are very transparent, and they just tell you right there on the front. It's on the menu. It's on, at the register, whatever it may be. But then some other ones, you just received the little
the extra bill.
And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, where did this surcharge come from? And that's
transparency really is key. Yeah, I agree with that person. Transparency is key because when people know ahead of time, they're less likely to be as upset at the end because you walk in, you see the sign, you're like, oh man, all right, whatever. I really want this. I'm gonna go for it. But if you have your meal, you sit down, you get the bill, and you see this extra charge, you're like, what in the world? So really, being transparent is key.
It's like, when you order delivery, in most cases, it's like, oh, I know there's going to be a little bit extra for a delivery fee, but that's okay. Right. I want to get it delivered, Of course, this is different times. I mean, deliveries, that's like an extra service, but is this it's just a different time now. It's like, okay, now businesses that were forced to be closed and just said, all right, you know what? Sorry that you grinded 30, 40 years of your life to build this business, but hey, guess what? As of today, you're no more. Now they get a second shot, to get back up. It's kind of just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, let us play a little bit of catch up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this comment of somebody who commented on a story yesterday, about this, and she happens to be a local business owner, so we won't be able to pop it up on the screen. I just want to share it with you, in part. She says, as a small restaurant owner, I understand where people are coming from. If me, the owner, feels that it's going to be a short-term increase, I tend to view it as a cost of doing businesses for right now. She says, these are unprecedented times and owners are struggling, just trying to secure product to stay open. It is beyond difficult to understand unless you're in it. So you know, it's easy for us to say what we say, but then again, we aren't the ones owning the businesses and, you know, thinking about the light bill that's $1 million and you only have $20 in the account for the business. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm exaggerating. I hope a light bill wouldn't be $1 million, but this is just, you know, the reality of what we're facing right now. So, you know, keep on chiming in about this, letting us know if you plan to pay the fee, and always use those reactions. The heart emoji if you say yes, this is a great idea, you would pay it, and then the angry emoji if you say no, I'm not paying that fee. All right, let's get over here to this next story. That's some other things that people are talking about. So, Keitha and Steve, do y'all wear face masks when y'all go out the house? Hopefully.
Yeah. I rarely go out of the house, but yeah.
Steve, I didn't know if you really
I made one out of a shirt.
All right, so they're talking about this new thing called... They're talking about a new acne caused by face masks, and it's actually called maskne. Yeah, maskne is that name. So it's apparently, you know, the friction between our mask and our face can cause our skin to break out. So this is happening to some people. Thankfully, that hasn't happened to me, but doctors recommend switching to a softer material face covering. You know, they say that can help. And then they say you got to be gentle with your skin. The best way to beat maskne is with gentle cleaners and a whole lot of moisturizer. First, I got to say, this is a cool name, maskne. But it is maskne. I like it. That's a pretty legit name. I hope people aren't discouraged from wearing a face mask because of this. You know what I'm saying? I think you do have to be careful when you wear a mask. You have to make sure you're washing them, you know, because understand you're still putting them there, you know, around your mouth and your nose and everything like that. And if you don't use the disposable ones, we use a new one every time. I do think you have to be careful. But I feel like I've seen a lot of people commenting saying, well, then that's exactly why I don't wear a mask. But keep in mind, you still want to protect yourself when you're out here, especially as people are walking, you know, outside of their house now and going to stores and going back to the mall and going to these restaurants and wherever you may be going. Still want to protect yourself, and then, of course, protect others who may be around you. But at the end of the day, protect yourself, if nobody else.
I think it's just you measure your priorities, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me sacrifice, maybe get a pimple or two, but at least I'm not going to get
That's
COVID.
a great point.
Right? Like, let's
you know, get
priorities
a,
here a little bit,
a
folks.
blemish here
I know
and there, and
2020, our
save a life.
priorities
Come
are all
on.
whacked out anyway, but let's keep it real.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that deep to say I just want to give up my mask, but at the same time, you know, look, it is what it is. And then lastly, check out this video of these little sisters doing something that was so impressive. And you know, I really get joy in seeing these sisters and people just in general being so creative during this pandemic. These kids are helping out healthcare heroes, you know, on the front line. Sisters London and Madison, they hosted a snack and drink drive in their neighborhood,
Aww.
with most of the proceeds going directly to area hospitals and urgent care centers. Well, the 7 to 9-year-olds, they're from Georgia. They both wore their gloves, they wore their masks, and they kept their distance and advertised with signs that included Bible verses. The girls and their mom, Carla, ended up writing, "Keep praying and keep pushing." And y'all, they made some hundreds of dollars to donate. And they came up with this idea. These kids came up with this idea, the 7 to 9-year-old, and then they were going to be spreading the love, you know, to healthcare heroes and whatnot in their time of just need, or really just in their, just a way to say thank you to them, because we know that they are doing so much on the front lines of this pandemic. Isn't that amazing?
Isn't it, Brooks? It seems kind of...
It is. That's so sweet to hear of. I can't see it, but...
Oh, you can see it? Yeah, it's beautiful, Keith.
Yeah,
that's all you
fantastic.
need to know. It's beautiful.
It's pretty interesting seeing. It takes
the gesture alone is beautiful.
Yeah, it takes everyone to be apart for the world to come together. Is what I feel like we've all kind of gotten out of the past couple of months, is that we're all just being separated and isolated and away from all of our loved ones, and the world seems just so far apart. Yet everyone's coming together in one way or the other, you know. So it's focus on the good, and that is some cool stuff.
Now, that's one thing I hope that we can keep, you know, as we get, you know, a little closer to the end of this pandemic and things kind of, you know, getting it back to normal, or to this new normal, however you like to view it. We've seen a lot more unity, you know, in the past month and a half. Now, I'm hoping we can keep it this way. it wouldn't surprise me if some things start to change a little bit. As you can
Yeah.
see, some folks
We're seeing divisiveness because of these certain places reopening and others not.
Yeah,
Starting to change
that
already.
now we're looking at folks upset about a surcharge, and some people saying, "Hey, I want to support the business," whatever it may be. So it's like, welcome back to America, right? But I'm hoping that we can still, somehow just remind ourselves every single day, as we've lost loved ones and we've lost people to this pandemic, or just seen how it's affected our entire world. Just remember to be kind. Like, come on, guys. If this hasn't taught me anything else, it's taught me that life can be very short if you happen to be in the wrong place at the right time and contract this virus that ends up claiming your life. You know what I'm saying? So some of these little small things, we're good. We're going to be all right. Let's just keep it moving, and let's not stress and fret over these little small things that really don't mean much. But I'm hoping, as a country, as a people, we will just continue to be unified in a way, because really that's the reason we've been able to see, the numbers kind of go down a little bit, depending on where you live and whatnot, and flatten this curve, because we have all been kind of in this thing together saying, y'all, we got this. We're going to do it. We're just going to have to sacrifice a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Look at that. Some words of
Amen,
wisdom
preacher,
from Brooke Baptiste.
What should I call
like
it? The Friday? Well, I need something with an F. Friday. I don't know. Let me just stop while I'm ahead. Rebecca, Thank you for saying amen, because Rebecca, my co-host, they forget to say that sometimes.
I just said it. I just said it.
Thanks, Rebecca, for having me back.
Amen. I just said it.
Too much. Guys, we thank you all so much for joining us. Here are the results from that poll. So would you all pay that COVID-19 surcharge? 27 of you said no, 63 of you said no, I'm not doing it. So again, if you end up seeing something, feel free to tweet us, at FCN2Go, use that hashtag GMJ, or use the hashtag Daily Dive, either or, because we're curious to see, what some of these different businesses and whatnot are doing. And if you happen to come across it, let us know. It is Friday. We made it to the weekend. You guys have a safe weekend. Wash those hands, practice social distancing, and just remember, if you happen to go out, do what you got to do to protect yourself. Keep the notes. Steve Fardell, thank you for being here. We'll see you all next time.